Hello, everybody. It is 8:51 p.m. Central Time on the 9th of September, 2020. It's Wednesday here in the United States still. And I'm just jumping on to do a quick update for everybody on the fires in particular. And we will quickly jump over the earthquakes too. So let me get a display capture turned on here and we'll start just really quick with the earthquakes. We have a new deep earthquake on our letter D. Letter D stands for deep earthquakes. And whenever there's a leverage that comes in on the underside of the plate, I want you to think of this like a lever arm or a lever on the underside of something pretty heavy. But that pretty heavy something has breaks through it. And so that power that comes up through the plate is going to be shallower and larger than the deep earthquake itself. Additionally, there's been a few more 5.0 range earthquakes today throughout the day today in the West Pacific. And 4 is going to cross over into Europe so far. And United States, we're again talked about the 3.1 over next to the U.S. Naval Ammo Depot over on the East Coast in New Jersey. Okay, so that being said, let's just go open up a window capture here and let's just hit refresh, make sure we have the most current images here. What I want to draw your attention to, we're going to go back to the start of the day. So here we are. This is just before sunrise, West Coast. And over here on the West Coast, if you can't see this, I will zoom in on a closer view in just a few, but you know, you might have to be on a computer in full screen HD to see this in full detail. But these red splotches here are going all the way down through California, but we got to look at this smoke. That's really what I want to show you on this. So here we are this morning, and sunrise is coming through, and over here in California, what you'll see is a poof of something that goes up above the smoke. Watch this. And it leaves a shadow down below onto the smoke. That is a poof of moisture that shows up of a big water vapor that's, I would estimate, at least a few large lakes worth of water puffing off at once in a giant steam burst. And it's white. It's not a pyrocumulus either, guys. So look at the smoke, though. Look what's happening here. So yesterday, let me take you back to yesterday. Here we are yesterday morning, and the dust storm that blew across Oregon and California mixed with the smoke and blew out down here, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. All this milky is actually residual smoke. This is yesterday. So we go throughout the day yesterday, you see the smoke really start. The wind shift, because of our low pressure system here over Colorado, it's a counterclockwise rotating low pressure system here. You can see that. See how it's rotating counterclockwise? That's normal for low pressure systems. So as it's rotating this way, it's pulling cold air down in from the north and pulling it back in and around, and it pulled in a bunch of cold air down and then pushed it back into Colorado, creating a bunch of snow up here. Well, now the low pressure system, watch it. This is last night. Throughout the night, last night, here we are this morning. The low pressure system is parked in place and is rolling back north, or, well, actually it's rolling to the west by southwest. It's kind of staying in place right there. So there's a counterclockwise rotation that pushes up and around this way, and it's blowing all the smoke out into the Pacific. But that's only partially of what's happening here. All this smoke now, look what's happening. It's pooling up because of the greater trade winds, if you will, or the greater jet stream coming in from the west, that it's kind of sandwiched in between the low pressure system over the Rockies and the winds coming in from the west, and the smoke has nowhere to go. So now what's happening here is that it's starting to combine with the moisture along the coast, and we're getting it's starting to form in, I don't even know what to call this. It's starting to form into its own smoke low. Okay, we're going to have to come up with a new term for this. Watch the rotation as it starts to form out here on the West Coast. You'll start to see it right on the last few frames right here. So that's over Northern California. Let me bring it in a little bit closer now, and you might be able to see a little bit better what I'm talking about. We'll go into a regional view of the region here. Okay, so here's Northern California. We'll take this back to overnight. Now you should start to be able to make out the glowing nature of this. There's our smoke bank, if you will. And right here. Do you see how it's starting to twist and make that counterclockwise rotation? Now, I hope that that's just, it's just a minor thing and it doesn't go into anything further. I've never seen anything like it before. And let's get a look down to the south now. Look at California right now. This is a current view. Well, actually, here, let me get a view looking westward. Here is a current view looking westward. So that's catching the sunlight. It gives you a good view of how much smoke there really is. Look at that. Now, go back to the start of the morning. Right here. Here's sunrise. Look at the steam burst that just came off of the fire there. And it shot up above the smoke and faded down and away. And then, now I would say, let's get back to, like, this one up here to the north. That one up there to the north could be a pyrocumulus from intense heat. And same with a few of these other little small bursts down to the south. These could be, a formation of actual cumulus off of the particle. But that first blast, that mushroom cloud that comes up out of the fire, and you can see it shoot up out of the fire right here. It actually obscures the fire. That steam return, and we know it's steam. There's no doubt about it. Let's go to lower level water vapor and go back to the start of the day. Boom, there it is. Look at the intensity of the water vapor on that. And the amount of water that it would take to do that, I'm telling you, lakes and lakes worth. And it all went poof. So, what could cause that? What could cause that? There's only a few things that could cause it. And that we're looking at. Now, the beam energy could do it. We watched the Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bearden thing yesterday, which you guys should go watch. If you missed that, go over to my YouTube channel. So beam dumps, look at that. Oh, wait. Wow, look, it catches the light first because it's so high already. Look at that. On the natural color fire view, this is this morning, the giant steam plume that blew off of there was so high in the first start of the day that it caught the sun first and lit up. Right there. And further lit up. And then it had a shadow because it was so high. And that obscures the whole coast. And that's all smoke. Smog. Smoke fog. A smoky fog mixture that's forming into its own counterclockwise rotating low pressure system over Northern California right now. Again, the swirl is undeniable. The swirl of that, the swirl on this matches the swirl on this. Compare. And the counterclockwise rotation is one thing and one thing alone. We know that. So how could a smoke, well, I guess maybe just that amount of weight in the atmosphere of all the particles would cause a rotation. Weight and motion. Rotation. The planet's rotating. Wait. I'm so busy looking down here along the coast that I'm not even noticing all the other fires that are flaring out up here across all of Washington, Idaho, and Oregon, and southern Canada. How am I not even noticing that? Look at that. This is something, look at that. It's a giant ring of fires. Not counting the ones along the West Coast. Let's turn on the near or shortwave infrared. And go back to the start of the day. Look at that mess. Look at this mess. Okay, well, yeah, look, all those little fires break out throughout the day. They're blinking on and off little black splotches all the way across Washington, Idaho, in a giant ring around this. Around this. Just watch. Right there is where we really get a lot of them. Wow, it goes all the way over to Yellowstone. So it goes here, 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 up through here, down through here, around, down, and all the way down. That's a match. That's a match if I ever saw one, guys. That is a match to our plate. But that could be precipitated by what we've been watching for the past few days. As we know, energy beam drops, precipitating earthquakes and fires. It's unprecedented to see what we're looking at here. Let's go back to our natural color fire view. Here's this morning. Okay, so yeah, we're starting here. We go up, 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 here, here, up north, back down, around. It's all smoke now. And that's not smoke from these fires. That's smoke from their own fires now filling this area here on top of the insane smoke going all the way down. Now let's go just quickly look down in Southern California. Since we've been spending so much time on Northern California, let's see what it looks like down south. Here's the whole state. Actually, let's get a sub-regional view and come in from Nevada's view. Okay, this would be Salton Sea. Here's Lake Tahoe and all of Southern California. How many fires are going down there? Here is Sunrise. We have 2 fires in Southern California. There. Oh, by the way, there's the big steam burst coming in from the north with its big shadow. Wow, it lingered all day. Is that ash? Steam and ash? Phreatic burst? We have to figure out where that big plume came from. We really do. We need to figure out where that big plume came from. You guys down with that? You okay with me taking the time to do this live? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it live. Here we are. Boom. There it is. Okay, now the way we're going to determine the location, we can see where it comes up from right there. But I'm going to turn on my county lines. So let's do that. Let's turn on the county lines. Oh my God, look where it is coming from, guys. Oh my God. It's coming from the sitting camel. This county shape here, we've talked about for the last 3 years. The sitting camel-shaped county, where hot spots appeared in the hump of the camel's back last year before the fires down in Paradise. You've got to be kidding me, of all the places, man. Okay, hold on, let's get this. Let's get it. I'm going to upload this to YouTube when we're done here. It's right at the county line. So it originates right here. And then it blows up into a mushroom cloud. Okay, so if this is the sitting camel position, this would be its front legs, if you will, or where it would be sitting down. Let's go right into the middle of there. See what's there. Here's Clear Lake volcano, so we don't have to go too far. Up here. Wow, man. Borders and labels on. Here's the sitting camel position. Came from right here. Right here, guys. The big burst. Here's Oroville Dam. The big burst came from right here. Nothing marked. Nothing. No volcanoes marked. We only have Lake Oroville and Paradise, California right there. It's right to the east. Let's see how far we are east of Paradise for that explosion to take place. 17 miles, 15 to 17 miles at the most. Boom, right from here. Huge blast of some kind. Steam. And it's at the border, so that can rule out Bucks Lake, because we are on the border with whatever just took place here. Junction House, Merrimack, Buckeye, Palmetto, whatever it was right through here. What's the name of the peak? Whiskey Hill, Chute Mountain. Now, overall, we've got a few other things here right next to it. Let me just turn off our boulders and labels. And I guess I need to turn off all the volcanoes. I'm going to need to turn them back on in a second, though. There we are. This. Look, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think it's an ancient remnant of a supervolcano. It's lined with its other own smaller volcanoes. It gets hit with earthquakes all around the outside edge and in the middle. On both sides, we've got geothermal fields at the fumaroles at Pyramid Lake. And down here, we've got Steamboat Springs, the marked volcano. The supervolcano here, guys. That's what would lead to it. It's right on the back side of it. A few miles, let's measure, from the edge of the supervolcano over to our location. 30 miles. Let me turn our county lines back on. 40 miles. 40 miles. 43 miles to be exact from the edge of the supervolcano caldera. Big blast of steam. What could cause that? Well, I'd say it would probably be caused by the same thing that could cause the fires. And we know there's energy beam dumps being done, happening now, most likely also happening tonight, but it's all censored now. So there's not much for me to show you on the beams, at least not yet, and anything I see from now on is going to be questionable because they're censoring it out now. But I'll tell you, to get a big blast of steam from this location right next to Paradise, we are just a matter of miles from downtown Paradise, 17 miles from downtown Paradise. And I'd like to see how close the fire is coming to them. Because again, I mean, Paradise is like right here. I mean, the fires are reaching right down to it again, guys. The fires are like going to right here. How could we get fires at the same location 2 years in a row with earthquake activity, following or shortly precipitating or preceding? So I'll say precipitation because the earthquakes certainly might be playing into that, might have an accumulating factor of energy in the area. The particle beam thing, let's go back and check the particle feed. You know, that beam is not showing up on anything else except for particle. It's not showing up on long wave or short wave. Particle near infrared. Could it be a particle weapon? Let's look out here. Are we going to even see anything now? Wait, what's going on here? We have a glitch. Now we have a glitch. Now the satellite's glitching. To white it out. Let's go over to the localized sector, see if we can get a better view on that. Again, we're just trying to see the particles now. I mean, I'm trying to look at the particle, and all of a sudden the particle feed is giving us a problem. Want to go check the greater particle feed? No. It's getting to be sunset. Turn it off. Do that. I think we know where the satellite's beaming from now, right? Okay. Well, here, we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that's just... Let me hit refresh. Nope, that is the most current image. Oh, man. Okay, well, you know what? This gets me back to where I started, which was the reason to get on was to show you the smoke and to talk about just how phenomenal that amount of smoke is. And that amount of smoke is going to be coming back in over the next several days. So when we're talking about cloud condensation nuclei, which is just a complex word to describe dust in the air that attracts moisture and forms into raindrops, that's going to be leading to a large amount of precipitation once it gets over to the continental divide, which is Colorado, and the Midwest. That this amount of smoke is unprecedented. We have never seen this amount of smoke, and it's so much smoke that it's forming its own low pressure system, and in my postulate, that could only be caused by the weight itself. The weight of the combined total mass of the air, because normally low pressure systems aren't hot. You don't get a hot low. I mean, you can get a dry low, but this would be caused by the weight of the material itself in the atmosphere. And it then starts to rotate. And next thing you know, you get convection. Hey, this might even lead to rain. Might even lead to rain out on the West Coast. It might not take all the time to get to the continental divide. I mean, if this thing really starts to rotate up. But right now, it's all dry particulate matter rotating there over Northern California. A smoke low. I mean, I'm coming up with the term. I mean, somebody else will come up with a better term than that. A cumulo low. Wait. A pyrocumulo low. A pi low. A pi low. That might be the best terminology for it. A PYRO low. Oh yeah, that would even be better. PYRO low. We've never seen it before. It's the first. I'm coining the term now. PYRO low. Remember that. Maybe somebody will start to use it. You don't have to give me any credit for it. I'm just combining terms that make the most sense. And you start to see that rotation. And it matches the rotation over the Colorado Rockies 1,500 miles to the east. And there's no direct connection between the systems. You can't say that it's this system causing this to rotate. That this rotation is on its own, separate from this rotation. And somebody should check the pressure to see what it really shows. I wouldn't even know where to check the pressure on here. Do we even have it on here? I don't think we even have it on here. Hold on. Well, that's not going to work. Well, okay, let's go to the next lab. Weather analysis tools, numerical products. Oh man, yeah, this is going to be a total cluster to try to navigate. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Let me just remind you guys, we're going to watch the storm as it blows through, the smoke storm, and we'll see if anything else develops off of it. I'm watching the fires. I'm very skeptical now on the beam information now that it's being censored. So even if a beam shows up, now that they know hundreds of thousands of people are watching, they're going to totally start to censor it. And they already did. I mean, censorship's one thing when you put a black line over it, but I wouldn't put it past them at this point to start putting in fake beams and, fake returns and, glitches and all kinds of stuff to justify. So just from now on, keep your eyes open, see if anything happens. But I think we got an answer as to what's causing the fires and the earthquakes and the hot spots and the volcanoes. That a directed energy weapon, as Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bearden said, dumps the alternating current of the radio wave into the crust, turning it basically into direct current in the crust, piezoelectric energy. It's amazing. And then that causes earthquakes and volcanic activity on top of the fires. And, there's a whole host of other things they can do, but it's amazing, guys. I just was talking about it with my wife tonight. I just cannot believe that this is what's happening. But there it is. So the fires are just incredible and not good incredible. They are record-breaking incredible. The smoke that comes off that right now has to be the most foul and hard-to-breathe mix over on the West Coast, and it's covering pretty much all of Oregon and California. It's going to come our way. Oh, hold on. There's something else I want to show you. Dang. Let's go back over to College of DuPage. I want to show you how the smoke goes across the rest of the country. There's a bunch over on the East Coast right now. Just wait, I'll show it to you. So we had some mix in last night here in the Midwest and made major lightning and everything. But look over here, over Tennessee and Kentucky and Ohio and West Virginia, going down to Mississippi and Georgia. Just look really close. Right there. Do you see that ripple? That is the first blast of smoke that mixed in here, but that's the first blast of smoke from several days ago when the fires first started, when it wasn't nearly this big. Maybe I can zoom in a little closer so you can see it over here on the East Coast. We need to get the view to the south. Hold on. There we go. So watch this. You'll be able to see it again. Right there. All of this is smoke. I can tell you this. It's super hazy here in Missouri. Enough that it looks like there's fires going on here. You don't smell any smoke. It's just a thick haze. And I said to my wife, that is it. Now look, it's going all the way down to the Gulf. Do you see it down in the Gulf? And you can really tell it right there that it's kind of got that reddish tint to it. So that's just the first blast of smoke, and it wasn't even that big compared to what's coming our way. That this blast of smoke is just going to be crazy all the way across the country over the next several days. That's also what I wanted to show you. Now we can get out of here. You guys, if any earthquake activity strikes, I'll be back on at a moment's notice. Be safe.